Hey, what to do, Sports Spoiler? What to do, the Real Untouchable Podcast with me, Ray Diggs. I got a great segment for you all. I want to talk about college basketball. As you all know, my Kansas Jayhawks, the number one team in the nation, they went up against the number 17 Kentucky Wildcats a few days ago in the college basketball State Farm Classic down there in Chicago. It's something that they do every year. But listen, before I get started this segment, hey, make sure y'all hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the share button. All right, it costs 0 cents to like this status. It costs 0 cents to like this segment. All right, give me your feedback on what you like and what you dislike about this segment. But hey, let's go ahead and jump into this thing. The number one ranked Jayhawks went into Chicago to face against the number 17 Kentucky Wildcats, in which they defeated the Kentucky Wildcats 89-84. Now, Kentucky had this Kansas Jayhawks team, this very young Kentucky Wildcat team had this experienced Kansas Jayhawk team on the ropes most of the night. They was up by 7 at halftime, but the Kansas Jayhawk, with the experience that they had, pretty much was able to, cut into that lead and eventually win in the game. Led by superstar Hunter Dickinson. Hunter Dickinson had 27 points, 21 rebounds, but it was also DeJuan Harris. When KJ Adams went out the game, even though also KJ Adams had 16 points, it was a really much needed 16 points by KJ Adams. But when he went out the game, it was DeJuan Harris who pretty much took it over. He hit 3 threes in a row to keep the Jayhawks afloat. Now, let's talk about McCullough. Pretty much had a triple-double, like Bill Self said. He had 12 points, 10 and 10. It wasn't the prettiest triple-double, but it was a triple-double. And everybody knows triple-doubles in college is pretty much rare. A lot of people don't get triple-doubles in college. But he pretty much got a triple-double. He was only 3 for 11, but it was his defense. It was his leadership on the basketball court that pretty much helped this Jayhawk team. Now, the Kansas Jayhawks only got 4 points from that bench. Now, that's going to have to change if this team is going to stay at number one, if this team is going to challenge for a college basketball national championship. Because if you only getting 4 points from your bench, that means your starters pretty much have to carry the weight. Now, let's talk about the Kentucky Wildcats before I come back to this Kansas Jayhawk team. I want to say a lot of people that have been watching my videos know that I talk about Rob Dillingham a lot. Rob Dillingham, the young true freshman that went to Kentucky. I kept telling people, I said, man, this dude is a PTP, y'all. He is a prime-time player. He can fill it up, and that is exactly what he did to the Kansas Jayhawks. I'm happy that John Calipari took him out the game in the first half because he was cooking us in the first half. I think he had like 16 points at one point, and he was pretty much cooking. He was lighting it up from 3, everything. Step back, he was driving past. He was doing everything. And I think that by John Calipari taking him out the game, that pretty much affected his game. Because even though he had the fouls, I still would have left the young freshman in the game and continued to let him cook. All right. And then you also had the kid Shepard. The kid Shepard came into the game. Reed Shepard, he's another true freshman, came into the game. This dude can shoot. He was 3 for 4 from 3. Him and Rob Dillingham together combined going 7 of 9 from 3. These are two true freshmen. These are 2 players that you're not supposed to be playing like this. And I don't think somebody told them that you don't supposed to be playing like this. And these dudes right here was there basically going against the number one team in the nation, and they was filling it up. Reeves was 7 for 25. He was 3 for 17 from 3. That would kill the Kentucky Wildcats right there. When you have one player that shoots 17 3-pointers, then there's something wrong there. Yes, you are the senior. But if you give some of those shots to maybe Shepard, give Shepard maybe 4 more shots. The kid Thuro, he's a really good player. He has 16 and 13 rebounds, man. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't like him, but the dude can play, man. He's a really good, and he's a true freshman as well. These are all true freshmen. DJ Wagner, he was 1 for 12. That right now, between him and Reeves, these two was basically 8 for 37. 38 for 37. If you go 8 for 37, you're most likely going to lose the game. DeJuan, DJ Wagner, like I said, he's going to get better. He's going to start adjusting to the college game. This Kentucky Wildcat team doesn't have nothing to be ashamed of. I will say this. I got a feeling that Rob Dillingham will be starting soon, rather sooner than later. Reeves, yeah, I like him at the point guard position, but I just think Dillingham is a better fit. He reminds me of Tyrese Maxey, to be honest with you, and everybody know I'm a big Tyrese Maxey fan, and I don't even really like Kentucky players. But I will say this: Shepherd and Dillingham are two players that can really take this Kentucky Wildcat team to the next level. And like I said, they have nothing to be ashamed of. Losing this game to the number one team, and the fact of you was in the game, you could have easily won this game, but mistakes is ultimately what hurt them. But I'm gonna go back down here. Like I said, this Kansas Jayhawk team, they are led by veteran leadership. Hunter Dickinson. Like I said, Hunter Dickinson was 8 for 12. He was 10 for 11 for free throw. He had 21 rebounds. He's the first KU player since Nick Collison way back then. A lot of people that don't know nothing about KU basketball, they don't know nothing about Nick Collison. But it was way back then when Nick Collison did it, and he had a 20-20 game. But this is something that Hunter Dickinson can do every game. He can dominate just like this. He can take over a game because most likely, until they maybe Purdue is maybe the only basketball team that I can say that can give the Kansas Jayhawk big man problems because they have 2 7-footers. Now, I will say this about Kentucky. Kentucky was missing a lot of their big players, a lot of their centers. So maybe that, that plays a little bit into it as well. I'm not going to take nothing away from them. Yes, they was missing some of their players, and maybe that could have, maybe those players would have helped. Maybe they could have contained Hunter Dickinson a little bit. But in this sense, him and KJ Adams, these two dudes right here, and if they can just get Jackson right, Jackson came, he had 1 for 4. He was pretty much a non-factor on there on the offense and defensive side. But I expect for the young freshman to get right. I expect for him to get better. But if he can get right and we can get one of these players off the bench, maybe McDowell, maybe Timberlake. Timberlake was 0 for 4, 0 for 2 from 3. He pretty much didn't do nothing on the court. And he played 13 minutes. You got to bring something to the table. But he ultimately didn't bring nothing to this game right here. So if your bench goes, 4, 6, 7, 10, 1 for 10, and then you still win the game, that tells you how talented this team is. But when this team, Bill Self got, if they can just get a bench, get small production from that bench, this team right here can be even more dangerous than people even think they can be. Right now, we're 3-0. We're the number one team in the nation, the Kansas Jayhawk, Rock Chalk Jayhawk, KU. Hey, man, listen. This team right here, this season, with the leadership of DeJuan Harris and Hunter Dickinson, with KJ Adams and McCullough, this team right here can ultimately win a national championship this year. This team right here can ultimately win a championship. Kevin McCullough is one of those players that he can pretty much do it all. He said it before the game. I came back this year because I wanted to get better. I wanted to become a more better all-around player. And I think that he did become better. I think that he did get better as an all-around player. That is the reason why he got a triple-double. Now, let's talk about, like I said, DeJuan Harris. The kid is probably the best point guard in the nation. He's always looking to pass the ball, but he can also score. A lot of people don't know that because he don't care about scoring. They think that he can't score. But in the end, the kid can score when he wants to score. And I think this game right here, he had to score with KJ Adams going out the game. KJ Adams, he got to get better, especially at the free throw line. He went 0 from 3 from 3. 0 from 3 from the free throw line. He only had 4 rebounds. If we could get 10 rebounds from him, man, it's no telling what this team can be. But listen, man, like I said, the Kansas Jayhawks defeated the Kentucky Wildcats 89-84 at the State Farm Champions Classic in Chicago. And that's the Kansas Jayhawks improved their record to 3-0 as they get ready to go to Hawaii, to Maui. I'll be coming to y'all, telling you all, breaking down that game as well as the Maui invitation gets start heating up this week. All right, but hey, man, thank y'all again for listening to another great segment of the Real Untouchable Podcast with me, Ray Diggs. Hey, listen, it costs 0 cents to like this status. It costs 0 cents to like this post. It's all 0 cents to share, subscribe to the channel. All right, so hey, man, thank y'all again for listening to another great segment. And hey, y'all have a great week, man. Y'all, peace.